So I'm just going to talk about. So everybody talked about how it works and etc. I want to talk about the experience of how you get it running in your own country. We launched in November, so basically 2 months ago, late October, November, and we started to work on this in I think early summer. And the idea was that we didn't have funding for it. So basically we started with a bunch of volunteers and a vague promise of we're going to pay some money to them eventually. And then as we were progressing with the implementation, at some point, as sort of a combined effort to raise some money and raise awareness for this whole thing, we actually started a crowdfunding campaign. Where we raised about $2,800 from 56 donors with an average donation of $50. And this crowdfunding campaign went on for about a month. And okay, it's now better. Sorry about that. So it went on for about a month, and it gave us both a huge exposure in the local media, and it also gave us this small amount of money, but still we could give to the guys who were working on it, so their efforts were a little bit more compensated. During this period, actually, Transparency International Hungary approached us, and they said, okay, so they wanted to do this for a long time, but never have. So now that we're doing it, they want to work together on this with us. So basically, they are enlisted as our partners now. And basically, they also promote the site, and they also give legal help for people who want to actually pursue a bribery case through legal means. So they have this. They have had this service for a long time, but not many people have been using it because people didn't really know about it. So it's a great way for them now. When somebody is reporting on an event, after reporting the event, they get a page with saying, okay, it's being moderated, so hold on a second. But if you want to escalate it towards a legal path, then this is the TI webpage dedicated to this particular TI service, so you can contact them, they have lawyers, etc. And if you want to escalate it towards the media, then there's our whistleblowing service, which we run ourselves, and then you can just send us the details and we're going to cover it in the news. So this is kind of an integration with the various available services that we have. So then we launched it, and people already knew about it, so the launch went quite well. It was quite public already because of the crowdfunding campaign, and we have been running it for about 2 months now, and I'm just going to show you the brief statistics we have. Yeah, as you see, we have covered about $350,000 worth of bribes, around 350 reports. The sectorial range is actually it's mostly medical and mostly childbirth related. And here I want to point out that actually in Hungary we have a tradition for this site. There has been a precursor a few years ago, where a particular citizen had his child born, and he was appalled by the fact that he actually had to bribe the doctor to carry through with this process. So he started a website which was basically a forum, which was called gratuity money, because that's the euphemism we use in Hungary for bribing doctors. And there people would be discussing specific doctors and the level of service they are getting and the amount of money you have to pay. So it's pretty much, it was like this sort of value for money service discussion site. Like with that doctor it costs this much, but the service is not that good, but with the other one it's more expensive, but you get a better value for your money, with the doctors being named specifically. Now this site has been shut down because of legal reasons. Basically the doctors managed to gather a bunch of lawyers, and they said that because they are being specifically named without their consent, this violates some of their whatever rights, and then the site has to be put down. So in Hungary there's a precursor for this service, and so when we launched it in the public, a lot of people remembered this old site. But of course now we are not trying to fall into this trap of, we have to be shutting down. So we are concentrating on anonymity, both in terms of who is reporting and both in terms of not naming the actual person they were bribing. So as you see, mostly medical-related field is covered, and actually the education field is covered with the driver's license exams very prominently there. So there's a 45% healthcare and 15% driver's license. So as you were pointing out in your or in the previous presentation, this bribery lifeline that everybody goes through. So you start at childbirth, and then the death, and in between when you get your driver's license, that's also quite a sure point when you have to bribe someone, and then everything in between. And when you speed, then etc. So yeah. And then a new addition which came in late December was the business sector bribes. So basically these are flowback monies when you are awarded a contract. So these kind of things have been started to come in, and the average bribery there is $12,000, which is small money when it comes to procurement flowback, but still it's interesting that people are starting to report this level of bribery as well. Some statistics, so we have had about 230,000 page views in 2 months, and the good news is that people actually stay on the site. The average views per visit is 5.3, so it's not that they open it and they leave, but basically they search on it, they look at it, they comment on the particular cases, which is very good. And yeah, we have a Facebook group with some followers, and Twitter, and we have had 22 online and offline news publications regarding our launch, which is quite okay. And we have created a sticker campaign. This says in Hungarian, "Corruption is sexy," and then underneath it says, you know, "Don't fall for these guys." And we have Aliyev from Azerbaijan. We have Mr. Escobar from, and this guy is our main corruption guy in Hungary. His company last year was awarded $2 billion worth of government contracts alone, with 20% of that between Christmas and New Year's Eve. So, yeah, I think this is it. And just at the end, I just brought some statistics about our Freedom of Information request service as well. So that's another service we're running, where basically we have generated 2,000 FOIA requests within 2 years. And for 54% success rate on the first run, and an additional 20%, 25% success rate when you actually go to the court, because initially they don't respond to your Freedom of Information request. So that's just another service we're having.